Hi, and welcome back to Ingrid is Interested, the vlog, right? This is episode 3. I feel like I am learning some things little by little with these vlogs. I do think the second one was a little bit better than the first. I'm trying not to like put too much editing time into the vlogs in particular. Like, it's one thing to take out just random rambles or whatever that I go on, tangents, that kind of thing, or to put in a few visual things, whatever. But anyway, I'm excited to be back. I got off work a little bit early today. One of my students wanted to reschedule because he still needs materials for his final. So the first, again, I'm going to try and stick to the notes. So, the first thing I do want to talk about today is I have decided on what my first, non-vlog type video is going to be. Originally, I thought I would go with, 3 or whatever number of the most important, language learning activities that I've taken part in, or just some of the most important tips or whatever that I have done to help me learn foreign languages. But as I was trying to kind of format a good title and really think it through, I was like, maybe it's not a hard video for someone like me to make, right? Like, I know generally already what I would talk about, but I'm trying to ease myself into these things, so I thought that a slightly better, but a slightly easier one for me to do for my first official not vlog video will be, what did I write down? Yeah, how I became a better student, or how I learned to become a better student, something along those lines. But one of the subjects, I'm sure I mentioned that I will tutor in, is study skills and organization, and part of that is because, yes, I have had periods where I struggled more as a student, I was less focused, I wasn't really sure how to study, things like that, and then I figured it out, right? And so I'll just kind of go into that. But either way, I'm excited. So there's that. I showed a picture last time, but now you can see it in action. So this is the new piercing, right? And there's just a little bit of redness right now. The Monroe is not terribly painful. Sorry, I'm sure it was a little bit more muted. I have my mic over there. But anyway, so yeah, and then I got my eyebrow piercing moved, because originally it was over here off to the side, because I've got this wonky little scar that makes this eyebrow shorter. But at the end of the day, I'm much happier with these results. So there we go. Video announcement, upcoming video announcement. Piercings, what I learned from my last vlog. So I think it was, so first of all, I mean, it was fun to have my lips done. Technically I've got some lip stuff on today, but it's more toned down, obviously. This is a pink. So being visually interesting, I think, is a good thing. With, obviously with this video, my hair's up. Yeah, I've got, the dramatic smoky eye look going, and my piercings as usual, but that's okay, because it's just a vlog, and I'm not that worried about it. I think it was, the editing that I put into it wasn't a ton, but I think it was good, and it did help me start getting familiar with how to do some of the other stuff with the video editing software. Up to this point, I've just been using Clipchamp just because it's on my computer, and it's been fine. It's kind of slow, but I think it is reasonably user-friendly. I don't know. But since then, since I thought about and watched my second video a couple of times, I did start doing some, research on just the generalities, right? Because, like I've said before, and this is still how I feel, I don't need this to blow up. I just want a small community of people who share my interests, and that's really it. So, well, I guess also I do want some of my videos to be helpful, right? Especially as somebody who is, an educator who's in the academic field, I do want to teach people what I can, right? So that's part of why my first video is what it is, but I'm veering off track. So research and what I learned from that, like some of the good ways to format your titles without being clickbaity about it, power words, that kind of thing. And I've just been kind of taking notes and thinking it through, and I think it'll help hopefully spread my videos a little bit more, because again, like I said, I don't need this to blow up. I would like some kind of community. But this is only video 3. I know in the grand scheme of things, like, if we're talking time-wise, it's like nothing. You know, with 3, this is video 3, so that's all I'll have at this point, and they are just vlogs. But one thing I did find funny was after, you know, like I said, I didn't really start researching until after my second video, because at that point I was like, okay, well, I've kind of liked being able to do this, you know, roughly the same time, 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to aim for Mondays to post vlogs. I film on Sunday, because my schedule, like, I'm usually off at like 5:30 or so. So it's just a good night for me to just chill and film, whatever, and then as long as I don't have a ton of editing to do, should be able to get it up the next day. I don't really have a timeline for the student video, but I don't want to spend more than a week or 2 trying to put it together. And I don't want that to be a terribly long video either. Which is actually something else that, not from my research, but just from watching my videos and just thinking about things generally. I think and that's part of why I'm trying to make the notes, right? I want to keep these a little more concise and stop, like, veering off the way that I do. Like, I think that's normal for anyone who's not used to presenting on camera like this, and it is, again, part of the learning process for me. So that's all good. I'm honestly excited about how things are going, which is funny because, like, the only people other than me that are watching these videos are, like, 2 students of mine. At any rate, like, one of them, they both seem to like him. You both know who you are. So, whatever. But anyway, despite that, I really am excited because I feel like I am heading in the right direction. And what I was getting at before I lost my train of thought again was, it's funny that I just did those first 2 videos like I did and then started researching, because a lot of the advice that I come across is to do essentially what I just did, which was I just needed to start putting up vlogs. I just needed to start doing videos. It didn't really matter what about, within reason, obviously, but yeah, so that was just cool to find out that I was already, like, just kind of instinctually doing what I kind of, you know, found out that a lot of people advise you do, and it does make sense. It's just, like, filming and this kind of content creation is not the kind of art form that I'm used to. I'm used to, you know, knitting and things like that, but at the end of the day, starting knitting, starting to play the ocarina, like, that had to come from doing the same kinds of things that I'm doing now, is trying it out. Do I even like it? When I, you know, have made some progress, start doing a little more research and see what I want to refine, which direction I want to take, right? So that's, I mean, that is kind of, yeah, how I've gone about all that kind of stuff. So now moving on, for my vlogs, I would like to do, like, whatever project updates, which is funny because I didn't bring any projects in here to show you. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with those. I started a, I can't put this down yet, or I'm trying to get rid of my notes. Already trying to just drop the notes. So, yeah, today I don't have anything to, like, show, but, I will talk a little bit, and I for at least one of the knitting things I will probably bring up, I can put a picture on the screen. I'm aiming, like, the way I'm kind of doing things, I want this to be like my, this blank white wall part It'd just be the spot where, like I stick the, you know what I mean, when I put images up or whatever, just right there. But anyway, I am working on, it's called a hoodie in the knitting pattern. I've done the 2 sleeves and only just started on the skirt part of it, so like I haven't gotten very far, but I am excited about it. I think it's going to look very nice. Especially in the yarn I chose. Like the pattern called for, I mean, well, you'll be able to see it because I'm going to put the picture up. So that one is more of like a purpley shade, which is lovely, don't get me wrong. And the one that I did isn't very far off, but it is more red. It's more like a wine red than it is like a dark berry color. So I think that's going to look really nice, really cozy. It's going to be warm, but it's also got like kind of a vampy look too. I mean, I don't know if the pattern image I come up with is going to say this, but it's from the Vampire Knits knitting book. So like all of the stuff in there is going to have like vampy, kind of gothy vibes. But anyway, so that's what I'm working on with knitting. So there's that knitting house, and then I might have mentioned this last time, but if so, I'd just like to reiterate, I really am marinating on just some general like scheduling type stuff. Like I haven't always been a planner, but part of becoming a better student was keeping to a planner, and I'm trying to get back into doing that a little more closely because, especially now with my tutoring roster being kind of light while I'm trying to get some more students, I have more time to think about this other stuff. So, but yeah, I do think mainly I'm going to focus on German and play around a little bit with Old English. After I figure out more details with how I want to go about my study plan and everything, then I'll decide what I want to do about Russian and possibly Ancient Greek. But the 2 that are, well, so the 3 I'm concerned about then obviously are German, which is one of my working languages. I would just like to refresh on some things and get into some more advanced things again. Like, again, I have a minor in the language, but I never had as much access to classes, resources. I didn't get to do a German study abroad or anything like that. So my expertise in my favorite language is lower than it is in, I would say my most practical language, Spanish, right? Not that that's a problem, just that is what it is, and I would like to just be a little less rusty in German and to, maybe go above and beyond where I've been before. I want a bachelor's in German eventually, but that's not in the cards right now. I have other things I need to focus on, so it's up to me. Self-study. There's just 2 more things that I want to go over today. So I'm a big reader, and I think that the vlog is probably, especially for now, a good place to talk about what I'm reading. So I just finished God of the Woods. I hate that I can't remember the author. I'll put a picture up of the cover with her name and everything, but it's not like it's just a like mystery type thing that takes place like between the 50s and the 70s. It kind of goes back and forth in the timeline like they like to do sometimes with that kind of stuff, but it was really good. It was one of the better books I've read recently, because a lot of times I feel like the endings I read just feel like, I mean, how else do I end it? Like, even with really good authors, like, I'm not here to come up with, like, I'm not doing reviews necessarily. I'm just talking about books I've liked and why not, whatever. And yeah, like, sometimes, even if endings do go, like, even how they should, right? Like, sometimes just the way they're written, I think, are so unsatisfying. But I did actually really enjoy the way the God of the Woods ended. I feel like I kind of, like, it had at least crossed my mind that the person who did it was, in fact, the person who did it, even though I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to spoil it. But whatever. It wasn't the kind of thing where it was like, yeah, well, that was easy. Like, honestly, I'm not very good at mysteries. I've gotten slightly better over, I don't know, the past year or so, just because I was like reading and or listening to more like Agatha Christie, like her audiobook, like not, you know what I mean, audiobooks of Agatha Christie's books. So I was exposed to more mysteries recently, which I think just makes it easier to figure out when you're most likely being misled, to be able to pick up on whatever clues the author, is dropping here and there. So anyway, God of the Woods, if you like mysteries, it takes place at a summer camp that's on like the property of this rich family, and they're involved in this whole thing. But it was good. I liked it, and with that in mind, I think it would be a good summer read. And so yeah, I recommend it, and it's got like good ratings on Goodreads and stuff too. One of my biggest things, so I love reading, like honestly I do, but sometimes it takes a lot for a book to convince me to keep reading it. Or sometimes I just don't know what I'm in the mood for, and one of my favorite things is this reading challenge. I won't say that I came up with it, but I don't remember where I got the specific idea, but was to read like, oh, you know what? I bet I heard from Gavin. I think Gavin did something like this. It was a reading challenge where I don't remember like which books he chose, but he just had like a bunch of books where he was reading the first chapter of them. I don't remember why, if he was doing what my purpose was when I did this, but anyway, like there was one weekend where I was just like, oh my god, like I really want to read something, but I don't know what I want to read, and so I picked like 10 books or something, and for the weekend my goal was to finish the first chapter of each one and figure out which I think I wanted most likely to go with. In this case, I didn't do quite that. Like I opened up, so I'm still only like halfway through It by Stephen King. Jumping back into that felt a little bit daunting, but since I enjoyed God of the Woods so much, I was looking for more like really well-known, highly rated mystery books that aren't, like Agatha Christie or some of the more, I don't even know what I want to say, but anyway, I ended up going with Mystic River. I think it might have been recommended to me a very, very, very long time ago. But in any case, I have it now, and I started reading it. And I don't know what it is. It's the writing, about the writing style, but I know it is largely that has kept my attention. Like, it's not overly flowery and descriptive, and all that kind of stuff, but it's not super simplistic and bland. Like, the guy writes well. I mean, it's a highly rated book, but I'm only, I don't even know if I'm a full chapter in, but wherever I am enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to reading more of it. Finally, one last announcement. I have not mentioned this at all yet, and I will explain why. So, I have lost 50 pounds as of yesterday, over the past basically year and a half. I started tracking my weight loss, not this year, but last year in January. And I mean, it's not like it's the first time I've done this kind of thing, but what I find curious is I didn't put a ton of focused energy into my weight loss this year. I think it's actually been mostly like my my antidepressants are kind of helping in that I am less inclined to eat out of boredom or any kind of emotional thing. I have an easier time just focusing on my day-to-day without getting tied up in knots in my head, or too wrapped up in my head or whatever, which is a big part of my anxiety problem, right? I get stuck in my head. So I think that's been a big help. And I don't really mean for my weight loss journey or whatever to be a big part of this channel, which is why I haven't really brought it up. It's just, I just hit that 50-pound mark, and that's super exciting. Nevertheless, I mean, if people start watching and asking questions about that, and they want to know more, they want me to do videos on it, the kinds of things that I eat, things that work for me, things that haven't, whatever. It's not that I'm not interested in speaking on it. It's just, it's a little more personal for me, and while it is an interest, health in general, like for me, it's partly about vanity. I mean, I feel better about myself when I'm a little bit smaller, but I don't want to be skinny. I don't want to be as big as I am. I would like to be a little more comfortable in my body, and that's basically it. That's been the goal for a while. But yeah, no. So I lost weight. I lost 50 pounds. I would like to lose about another 50, yeah. I would still be technically overweight at that point, but I can live with that. It's fine. I like myself at that weight or a little bit lower, but yeah, we can talk numbers another day, but I just wanted to bring that up. I think that's all I wanted to cover today. I did this whole tangent rant that I'm going to cut. It was about the weight loss thing, and I realized I was just getting so far into the weeds, so I started over just to give it an announcement like I originally meant to do. So yeah, if you came back again, or even if this is the first time, I am glad you're here. I am happy to be here. I'm excited to get working on my video about how I became a better student. Yeah. So today, Ingrid is at least a little more interested in vlog number 2. We hope you were too. And I think I will call it there before I ramble myself into more minutes I'll have to cut. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I would surely appreciate it. Let me know what you think.